Happy New Year, everybody! These are the retro no-cap recaps of The Curse of Oak Island, Season 5, Episodes 5 and 6, originally aired in December of 2017. If you missed my recaps of previous and future episodes, there's a link in the upper right. Let's get into it. Previously, on The Curse of Oak Island, people have been looking for an incredible treasure for 228 years. Episode 5 of Season 5 opens with an angle of the island that isn't seen very often. Most of the time, Oak Island is shown from the south, which showcases its elephantine shape. In the Money Pit area, the team is continuing their grid pattern drilling to try to locate the original location of the Money Pit. The geophysical engineer that designed the grid pattern visits. Marty wants to try to save some money, and the engineer agrees that they should finish the southern portion of the grid first, which they think is most likely the location. Meanwhile, Alex, Charles, and Peter meet Doug 300 miles northeast of Oak Island in the city of Sydney. Doug has been investigating the documents that searcher M.R. Chappell donated to the Beaton Institute. The team is looking for any clues that might lead them to the exact location of the original Money Pit. M.R.'s father, William, found a concrete-covered wooden vault 153 feet down in 1897. His efforts to dig to retrieve it were halted by flooding and collapse, the fate of most searchers. Somehow, that location was lost, and his team failed to find it again over the next 2 years. M.R. later dug his own shaft 30 years later and tunneled into the last known direction of the vault. That too ended with flooding and cave-ins. They find a sworn statement, from Frederick Blair that says that the manager of William's team told him in confidence that the vault drill bit showed unmistakable evidence of gold, which they did not make public knowledge. Later in the war room, Doug informs the team that he found documentation also that the bottom of the chapel shaft was 10 to 12 feet north of the top of it. Without GPS or other precise location tools, older shafts would often be dug at an angle rather than straight down. The team changes their grid drilling targets accordingly based on the new information. The new holes are the ones in orange. They are hoping the first one they try, H8, will be the exact location of the chapel vault. Gary, Marty, and Dave are metal detecting on the boulderless beach. It is a 100-foot stretch that is missing the large boulders that are on the shores of the rest of the island. Marty says that they have also determined that the missing boulder area extends into the water as well. Gary's first hit is this iron spike. The team has found other spikes in the swamp and in the Gal 1 spoils in the Money Pit area. Gary thinks it's a ship spike and dates it to the early 1700s. Laird joins them and agrees 1700s. Gary theorizes there could have been a dock, wharf, or shipwreck there, and Laird says a wharf would make sense to him. The H8 drilling hits a small void and then seems to hit something and then either go through it or push it to the side at around 140 feet. Later, Terry finds this piece of pottery in the H8 spoils from 192 feet, and then later another matching piece. Marty is impressed because no known searchers have drilled down that deeply. In spoils set aside at about 160 feet, they find this piece of what they think is dense wood. Later in the war room, Laird thinks it's bone. Episode 6 begins with work continuing in the Money Pit and Jack and Dan Hinsky going through the H8 spoils. They have set up a wash table and diligently combed through every bit of it, and Jack finds this piece of pottery. And then what he thinks is wood, but that later testing would reveal is a bone as well. Also confirmed as bone is the piece Laird inspected in the previous episode. Even later DNA testing finds that both bones are human, not from the same person, and they are being further tested for regions of origin and carbon dating. Back at the wash table, Jack finds what Dan Hitzke thinks is shoe leather. And this, which Jack thinks might be parchment. In 1879, William Chappell's drill bit, when pulled back up out of what he thought was a concrete-covered wooden vault, had gold flakes on it and also a piece of parchment with the letters VI on it. A geotech engineer arrives to run conductivity scans for metal down the holes in the grid pattern, but Rick is not present. Marty calls him, and it turns out he had been bit by something, which resulted in this, and leaving him with a pounding headache among other symptoms. Marty suspects Lyme disease or shingles and takes him to a clinic where they confirm Lyme disease and put him on a regimen of 30 days of antibiotics and to stay out of the sun due to the effects of the antibiotics. Craig and Jack are at the money pit and monitor the conductivity test, and Marty joins them. 8 boreholes have been revealed 0 results so far, but the next one up is H8, in which they have found 1700s pottery, 2 fragments of bone, and bits of paper deep underground. The readings go off the chart at approximately 155 to 160 feet, and the chapel vault was reported to be at 153 feet. Marty goes to tell Rick and says not for the first nor the last time that he thinks H8 is the money pit. No Cap recaps of Season 11 will debut Tuesday late nights, and I'll also continue these retro No Cap recaps of Season 5 through 8, Seasons 1 through 4, and 9, 10, and the aired episodes of Season 11 are done already. Other upcoming live streams, Ramsey Coach with Coach Steve Money most Saturdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Time. And the Ramsey Show After Show New Year's Day, January 1st, also January 3rd and January 15th, right after the Ramsey Show video on YouTube ends at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central Time. I'll also be continuing streams of the 2006 Tomb Raider Legend video game, and the 2 subsequent games, Tomb Raider Anniversary, which is a remake of the first Tomb Raider game, and Tomb Raider Underworld. Once again, I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you've got any problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. You can email me about coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel, CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/Coach Steve Money. Or if you don't want to sign up for PayPal, you can just send a Walmart gift card in any amount. You can add me on the gram to my email address, CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com. You can add me on the gram at Coach Steve Money, of course. This YouTube channel is youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. Thank you so much for watching.